Hi everybody, today we're going to be talking about weathering. If you look in this picture, you'll notice all sorts of things. Number one, you may see rocks. Number two, you may notice it's a canyon, more specifically the Grand Canyon. You may notice the strata, which are those defined layers. There are lots of features that you notice, but the question is posed, how did we get here? It's a conglomeration of different things. We have wind, we have water, we have basically weathering. So what is weathering? Well, weathering by definition is the process by which rock materials are broken down by the action of a physical or a chemical process. Physical often is also referred to as a mechanical process. So physical weathering. It's the breakdown of rock into smaller pieces by physical changes. There are different examples of physical weathering. Again, physical weathering is also referred to as mechanical weathering. The first example is often known as ice wedging. So you'll notice in this picture, ice wedging or frost wedging is occurring. So basically what happens is you have water seep into the ground. That happens often during the spring and the summer months during, quote, the rainy season. When we get into the winter months, some of that water still seeps in and sometimes it still rains in the winter, but sometimes, especially in the dark or the nighttime hours, we get freezing temperatures. And that basically converts the water in the ground into ice. That ice freezes, and just like everybody else, we know that when ice freezes, the water has expanded. And because of that, over many times of the water going into the rock and the expanding happening, then we know the expansion happens, the contraction happens, and basically you get giant cracks that continue to get more ice and water in them over time. So that is ice wedging. The second type of physical weathering is known as abrasion. There are three types of abrasion, but all of them are the breaking down and wearing away of rock because of a mechanical or a physical action due to other rocks. The first type is water. So basically in this first picture here, you'll notice this is a moving stream. Moving water is a great example. If you've ever been river tubing, you've often noticed that your feet and pebbles, when you touch the pebbles in the water, they're very smooth, sometimes even slimy. That's because that water's continued to run over those pebbles, grinding away and smoothing the rock out. The second example for abrasion is wind. And wind basically shapes the rocks by blowing sand. If you're in a desert and you see a rock, especially like maybe the Grand Canyon or any type of Bryce Canyon, you'll notice that those creative features that are giant in structure size are continuously changed in shape over hundreds of years. That's because the wind of the blowing sand or the blowing sediment pebbles basically are brushing up against it. And then the third type is gravity. Gravity, just like it says, we know what comes up must go down. So basically when pebbles or rocks come down the side of a mountain, they're going to hit each other. Every time they hit each other, they break off teeny little pieces, and those teeny little pieces are those rock fragments. The third, fourth, and fifth types of physical weathering are plant growth, animal action, and of course pressure change. Plant growth. You may have noticed this in your own driveway. Anytime you have a plant that has roots that get up underneath something such as asphalt or concrete, they buckle. When they buckle, basically it moves the concrete out of the way. The plant is very strong. And remember, it's getting its nutrients through the water and the oxygen in the atmosphere. Because of that, it's able to have those plant roots be rooted into the ground so strong and so in order with each other that they basically can break anything around them. It may start as something as simple as this little tweed or this little vine coming up through this small crack, and over time the plant roots just kick it out of the way. The second one is animal action. It could be as simple as a chipmunk hole or a hole that your dog digs in the backyard, but oftentimes it's because of burrowing. Even something like as small as an ant makes a burrow, or a termite. They make burrows into the ground, and because of that they're loosening the soil around them, thus weathering it. And then the fifth thing is pressure change. Rocks formed under pressure or under the ground expand and crack when they reach the surface. That's because the pressure decreases, and when that happens, it's causing the loosening of the soil and therefore the weathering to happen, and the erosion will occur because of it. The second type of weathering is chemical weathering, and some of this has probably already been discussed in your social studies class. So, rocks break down due to a chemical reaction. Some type of chemical change is occurring in all chemical weathering. The first one is reactions with oxygen. Anytime you have a metal that's outside that is going to react because of oxygen, it's called oxidation. Basically, oxidation is when iron combines with oxygen. Therefore, you get rust. So the second is reaction with acid precipitation. So burning fossil fuels often creates acid precipitation found in the environment. That acid, when it falls, weathers materials over time because it literally eats the material away. The acidity within the rain dissolves the rocks and dissolves structures such as this statue here over time. The more acid rain you have, the worse for the wear the statues and the rocks will become. The third type of chemical weathering is known as reaction with acids in groundwater. We know that there's water under the ground, and that's how we get things such as caves and caverns. So the acidic water that flows under the ground basically dissolves rocks. When it does, it creates stalactites and stalagmites. Remember, caverns and caves sometimes have big open spaces, such as this one here, but sometimes they have floor-to-ceiling stalactites and stalagmites that literally connect to one another. And that water underneath the ground is filled with limestone, and because of that, it has acid in it. That acidic water creates live structures that are found within these caves. Those live structures do get damaged when your body has a chemical in it and it touches those. So they react with the water in addition to anything else they come in contact with. The fourth thing is reactions with acids in living things. If you notice on this picture right here, this is a tree, and on it are these beautiful lichens. And lichens are a fancy word for a specific type of moss. They basically attach to anything in their structured way. It can be something like a plant, it could be something like a tree base, it can also be something like a rock. And they produce acid, and when they do, they attach to, basically they eat through the object, whether it's a rock, whether it's a tree. So they literally are taking away the nutrients or taking away the rock because they are eating through it. Thanks for showing, and I hope you got your notes filled out on weathering.